So the last book is a classic. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Always we do have our differences. Yes, it will be presented today by Dr. Rajkumar Arunachalam, a medical doctor by profession, currently serving as a chief medical officer in one of ESIC hospitals in Chennai. He has successfully volunteered for a couple of batches and he has emerged as a successful finisher in one of them as well. So, with that, over to you, Doctor.
Thank you for the introduction, ma'am.
Thank you. You can share your mind map, sir. I will
Yes.
join you.
Yes. There is one thing common among all the human beings across the planet. Yes, all human beings are into relationship. John Gray, a best-selling author, a lecturer, and a relationship counselor, once thought how to make men and women to understand their differences. He worked out, and in 1992, he wrote this most famous relationship book ever published. This phenomenal book has helped many millions of couples transform their relationship. Happy evening, dear friends. Yes, I'm speaking about the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. The author comes out with the different conditions and make the men and women to understand their differences so that they can communicate, relate the proper way, so that they can avoid the conflict and contradictions that will let their intimacy to grow in the relationship. When it comes to problem, the author says men will go to their cave and women will talk. Let us see in detail about that. Woman instinct will always be to speak out whenever she has some problem. She finds that she will get rid of the problem whenever it comes out and speaks out. At the same time, women want men to listen and acknowledge her feelings. Moreover, she does not want to listen solutions from her man. When it comes to men, whenever men come across problem, their instinct would be they want to involve themselves into some activities. Let it be watching TV or listening to some music or indulging themselves into some activities. After doing their activity, they feel comfortable and they start to speak and mingle. At the same time, men want women to give his space. Let us move on to the author's perspective when it comes to help. Men always want women to allow him to manage the task by himself and then thank him for what he did. The woman instinct would always be to give some advice and let me help my husband, let me help him. So whenever he comes out and offers this help and advice, a man will start to think that she is not trusting my abilities and she wants to help me out. Rather here, the men clearly want woman to trust his abilities and to appreciate his efforts rather coming and giving advice. When the author takes the topic support, how men and women can support each other, he describes men like this. Men are like rubber bands. Whenever men want to be idle, it happens in everyone's family, I guess. The woman will follow him and force him to talk, and he'll keep asking him what's going on in your mind and come and speak out. The author clearly states, whenever women come and ask men, whenever he is into want to be idle, he feels that losing his independence and need to move away. In this kind of situation, they need to support each other. How? Woman can support him by giving his space and not judging his need for independence. Men need to reassure woman that he will return to normalcy shortly. This will increase their intimacy in the relationship rather than entering into conflicts and contradiction. We all are fond of gifting gifts to our spouse. When it comes to gifts, the author puts his perspective like this. Men and women have different scoring point system. Women appreciate a lot of little gifts, whereas men tend to value only the big gifts more. The author even encourages men not to ignore the small and easy things that can make a big difference in their relationship and their life. Also, women should appreciate men in giving gifts. Otherwise, if a man do not receive any appreciation from the woman, he may even stop gifting her. When it comes to mood swings, the author, in his perspective, gives this phrase, women are like waves. Women feel sad as it is their way to let out their negative feelings. Whenever they feel sad, it's something natural with them. They want to let their negative feelings out, the negative thoughts out. It's okay and it's normal. But how a man will think here? Men will think that are they at fault for their sadness? This will put them into a difficult situation and they even get offended and they will think a lot. And this also will start putting some conflict. Here, what the woman need to do, the author says, a woman need to reassure men that it is not their fault and it is normal for them being sad and they will come out to normalcy soon. When it comes to communication part, the author says men and women communicate differently. He moves one step ahead and says men are direct and women are indirect. What he literally means. Let us go with this example given in this book itself. Let us take this phrase, we never go out. When a woman say, we never go out, woman does not want to accuse men. The author translates its meaning and gives it and puts this like this. I would like to go out with you because we will have fun together. Can you take me out? And this is what actually the woman meant by saying we never go out. The translation part is needed. The dictionary need to be referred is also needed here. This is what the author emphasizes more. Whenever the woman comes out with a statement, if it is not direct and if it is indirect, and you need to refer and understand in a right manner so that you can reply and respond accordingly. At the same time, there is one important thing. Hope all the men here also would agree with this. Men need to avoid saying, don't you remember the outing what we had in the last month? That's it. It may invalidate their feelings. So the men should be very cautious. The author emphasizes here. We should not come out with the statement. Don't you remember the outing last month we had? So let me take one more example related to communication. And here the author goes one step ahead and introduces one dictionary called Venetian and Martian Phrase Dictionary. What is all about? It's all about whenever a woman comes out with some statement, give some time, space, and try to translate using the dictionary and understand what it actually means and reply accordingly. This is quite common scenario. It happens in each and everyone's home. That's why I took this point.
That's 1 minute left, sir.
When women say the house is always a mess, actually what she means, today I feel like relaxing, but the house is so messy. I'm frustrated, I need rest. Hope you do not expect me to clean it all up. Would you agree with me that it is a mess and then offer to help clean up part of it? This is a way the woman asks the men to understand and help her. This book, whoever is going to read, it's really going to help them to improve and flourish their intimacy in the relationship. All the best for everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajkumar. Yes, it's a wonderful book where it explains how men and women are wired differently in their brains, and definitely a controversial one as well. You have presented really well. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions for Dr. Rajkumar at this moment, you can type in the chat box right now. He sorted many things for me to behave. Okay, so I said he has sorted many things for him to behave with his counterpart. Okay, nice. Yes, so any questions on this book? It's a must read to see how we, not only as men and women, as even the third gender, how we are wired differently and why we behave in a certain way when it comes to a particular situation. So you have any questions for doctor? And he's a doctor, I think he's the best person to answer all your questions. Isn't it, sir? Okay. Okay, if you have no questions, then we'll move on to the next part of the session today. Over to you, Dr. Manjunath.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, friends, especially all the presenters, Smita, Sanjukta, and Rajkumar. You did a great job defining, because this is like a complicated subject, but you simplified this process easily using these powerful books. All of you friends, go and read now, because everybody, one or other way, sometimes we face some issue, some challenges in terms of relationship. And when you start reading these kind of powerful books and start taking action, yes, you can create a magic in your relationship, because this is one of the milestone actually for everyone.